Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Yeah, Larson.
And welcome to the latest episode of Punk Daily. It's time for Punk Daily tonight. We're going to have some punk news tonight. All right.
Tonight.
All right, so let's talk about, look at all this. We got, hey, just sell this because I got a new overlay for Punk Daily here. Look at that. It's so punk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even though you can't see it right now.
I can't see it, but yeah, it's like this episode should be released on SST Records.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a deep cut for anybody who
is a good
knows 80s punks. Anyways, so could WWE and CM Punk be coming to agreement on a return for Phil sometime soon? According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, if Phil gets his way, then the answer is yes. Meltzer reported, quote, regarding CM Punk, there is obviously tons of talk regarding him returning. There have been rumors that is happening, but those in WWE have only said that no deal has been completed, and those close to Punk have told us that it is his intention to return, and the two sides are in talks. Meltzer also notes that it makes sense, obviously, for Punk to make his return to the Federation at Survivor Series, which is happening at the Allstate Arena this year. That's in Chicago, Illinois. I believe that's where Phil Brooks is from.
Yeah, from what I understand, he is a native of the Chicago area.
Yes.
And the people in Chicago are aware of that and would probably react with excitement if he showed up in the Federation. Nick Houseman, seemingly close personal friend of CM Punk, with all the scoops, with all the Punk's daily scoops he gets, of the House of Wrestling podcast, I should add, added this. Everyone
Wait, hold on. You say House of Wrestling podcast?
Oh, isn't it? Doesn't he have a podcast?
Well, maybe there's a podcast, but it's from a site.
Okay. Sorry, my bad. I always thought that he had a podcast to go with it. Added this. Everyone we spoke with agreed that a return would not be out of the question if good business could be done. Furthermore, those we have talked to from Punk's camp do not feel the incidents that led to his AEW release would be held against him if he wanted to return. One WWE source told me they feel it is a safe bet he will be at Survivor Series. I know you got something here on your mind, Larson. What do you want to say?
No, I just confirm, yes, House Wrestling does have a podcast as well as the site.
So, okay. Yes. All right. This came from the umbrella organization from Nick Houseman's House of Wrestling.
The story itself was on House of Wrestling, the website.
Okay. Yes. All right. Makes sense.
HouseofWrestling.com. I mean, Phil wants it, obviously, based on this. It just all depends if WWE wants it at CM Punk's price point.
Yeah. I wonder how deep into talks they are. Look, wrestling it's a business of politics and perception.
Yep.
And we know, when Nick Houseman says we've talked to those in Punk's camp, my personal opinion is it's just Punk. Like I don't really think he's got like a camp, like an entourage of people who, are saying, hey, Nick, Punk feels, it's just Phil Brooks, dude. It's just Phil, right? That's my personal opinion. One WWE source tells him they feel it's a safe bet he'll be at Survivor Series. I still think it's probably like 50-50 because it would not shock me if this was some element of Punk putting it all out there in order to manifest it. And he's a longtime student of the business of professional wrestling.
Yes.
And putting it out there and drumming up interest perhaps might be one way in his, from his point of view, to press WWE on, hey, this will happen. When it says everyone we spoke to agreed that a return. I'm sorry. Those in Punk's camp do not feel the incidents that led to his AEW release would be held against him if he wanted to return. I wonder if that's him saying, I'll be on good behavior. The problem I had there was with Tony Khan and elements in AEW, the Elite, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Those elements won't be in WWE, and I'd be willing, as he did before when he went backstage at Raw, reportedly, trying to make amends with certain people there. You got to think, in order to prove that the AEW issues were not him, probably, be on his best behavior when he comes to WWE, at least at the outset.
Yeah, at least at the outset. It's not like WWE doesn't have history working with CM Punk and the issues that could arise because of it.
True.
And based on what we saw in AEW, it's not like those issues almost 10 years on from the last time he was in WWE have necessarily been resolved in terms of how he relates to those in the locker room.
Punk did have, in his defense, just to, at least from his point of view, and seemingly this has never really been debunked. Like, I never really thought he was too in the wrong when it came to his WWE stuff. Like his exit from there, I think they did him kind of dirty, like overworking him and not giving him the proper breaks. It did seem like a toxic environment
absolutely. Yeah,
for him to be there.
Yeah,
and
totally.
That's, I don't think, a situation where look, did he burn bridges on the Colt Cabana podcast? Possibly. I kind of feel like that was just an airing of grievances, and I don't think it was so egregious that they would be like, no.
I guess I'm referring back. I know it's just one story, and maybe it's an isolated incident. The Cody and Jericho one where Punk goes in and is like, I'm locker room leader.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of is like, who's this guy?
Yeah, but I don't know. I just sort of wonder if, from simply speaking, I don't think Vince or Triple H or Tony Khan would give two flying fucks about that. What they would give several flying fucks about is the return on investment. Would his paycheck, which would be hefty.
Yes.
And I guess, look, dude, they brought in people that had, less than stellar locker room reputations before, and they're willing to do business with them. And that's what it comes down to for Vince is, will the money we're spending make sense for what we're getting back in return and everything that comes along with that? Obviously, Phil is a big personality that will have to be handled to a degree, but if the idea is, hey, we're going to bring you in, we're going to have a plan for you in advance. We're not expecting to be on the Cody schedule where you're in every single town, every single night. I think that he's probably a good addition. It's big. It would be a huge deal, at least for the first couple months that he came in.
So speaking about the schedule, based on what we've seen him do in AEW, I think he wants to be there every week, though. I think that's what he wants to do, not necessarily wrestle, but be there and be a part of the show every week.
Yeah.
Granted, that could be a situation where Tony Khan is like, hey, you're a top guy, especially on Collision. We need you every week to drive ratings. That could be part of it, obviously, but you'd think if Punk was like, hey, I need a break this week. Given the sway seemingly he had in the company for a stretch, that could have been arranged. But it seemed like he wanted to be there.
He was, well, I do kind of wonder if, like, everything that we've heard and read, and you could just watch TV and understand that Tony Khan wanted him there.
Obviously,
he was given the amount of attention and love by management that I think he always felt he deserved in WWE. And I always felt he did too, because I was like, man, this guy's really cool. I like him. He sort of speaks to my kind of, thing. And it just turned out that, that was just, he was not a good fit there personality wise, I guess. No. But I wonder if it's similar to, in a broad sense, the Cody thing. Maybe he just figured out, hey, you know what? Being the end all be all in a company ain't what it's all cracked up to be. And I'm like trying to, run creative, and I'm trying to, teach the young generation the only way I know how.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work. And maybe just like Cody was like, yeah, I'm really fit for management. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And maybe Punk will be sort of the same way in WWE. I mean, he's been through a lot with AEW. At a certain point, maybe he's just like, bro, I just want to go out there and wrestle. And I don't know. Maybe he thinks he can get a Mania Roman match. I don't know.
With that, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, dude, I think CM Punk versus Seth Rollins is definitely a Mania match, though.
Yeah, that could be a night one main event.
Right? Yeah, it absolutely could. Or CM Punk versus Kevin Owens could be a night one main event, similar to the Stone Cold one. So, yeah, I mean, look, I have no idea. This does feel. It feels like it's heavily coming from one side.
Yeah, it feels like a situation where it could be Punk getting this information out there to kind of lean on WWE, get an upswell of fan support, so people be like sign CM Punk signs at the crowd and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
get some
hopefully,
chance going,
Exactly. Hopefully drive fan interest into WWE being like, oh, okay, maybe we're more open than we might have been otherwise to bringing him in. It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a situation where he's sort of forcing the test balloon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see how this works out. I'm not declaring this a done deal, Larson. I'm not declaring this a safe bet, as this WWE source said. But you never know. Things are crazy. It's the wrestling business.
It is. We've heard of a lot of people with who had a bad taste left in their mouth after dealing with Punk in the past. But again, the wrestling business, if people think they can make money signing somebody, then they're going to sign them.
That's what matters. That's what matters
in the wrestling world. Speaking of the wrestling world, I think it was several years ago, a few years ago, we heard about the possibility of a Hulk Hogan biopic with Chris Hemsworth in it.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Heading to Netflix.
Can't wait for that.
Well, you're going to have to, because in a recent interview with Chris Van Vliet, serial habitual liar Hulk Hogan.
Whoa,
prove me wrong.
Well, I think liar indicates that he's like intentionally saying these things. I like to consider him like, perhaps a serial misrememberer.
I don't know, man.
All right.
I don't know. It could be possible. Anyways, a lot of mistruths tend to spring from the mouth of Hulk Hogan. Anyways, he says that apparently this biopic is no longer on Netflix's production docket. This is what he had to say. He says, yes, I do have an update. So it was a situation where business-wise, Netflix kind of like missed the date, as far as a business situation. So I had the choice at the time to switch gears. Scott Silver wrote the script. He wrote The Joker and a bunch of different movies. And of course, Todd Phillips has done The Joker. He says Wolf of Wall Street. I checked. Obviously, Martin Scorsese directed that movie. I checked to see if Todd Phillips had anything to do with it. He's nowhere in the production credits.
See, I mean,
So that lends credence to your case. He's a misrememberer. But if we talk about the story where apparently he's in the same interview that his son Nick was supposed to have a match with Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. So, I mean, Fightful Select said no. Never was under consideration.
We don't know what text messages Hogan. Yeah, maybe Hogan sent a text message to Shane McMahon. Hey, brother, let's get Nick a match at WrestleMania. What do you say? And then Shane.
Yeah, that's not the same of it actually getting close to happening.
All right.
So, anyways, Hogan continues here. All the crazy stuff that he did, but yeah, the script came back. It was amazing. I mean, because my favorite movies are like Scarface.
Okay.
The Godfather.
One of the best movies of all time.
True Romance.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
It was there. Wow. And I just thought, whoa, but all of a sudden there was a business glitch,
Oh, wow.
And then they tried to fix it a few days later, and I had already decided to move on. So my life rights and stuff are somewhere else now. And there are a lot of things that are getting ready to happen. Hopefully Todd Phillips and Chris Hemsworth will still want to play, but there's still a huge opportunity there. What's it called? What a script was going to be produced, and they decide not to. Turnaround. Is that what it's called?
Turnaround. Yeah. It's on the golly. What do they used to call it? Or they probably still do. There's like a list of script, like the best scripts that haven't been made.
Oh yeah,
and it circulates Hollywood. Yeah. I wonder if this is one of those. I mean, he says it's up there with Scarface, Godfather, True Romance, right there. Wolf of Wall Street. Those are pretty big names.
Those are admittedly. Also, he says The Joker.
And The Joker. I was not a fan, but a lot of people were. It was a $1 billion movie.
Yeah, it was a $1 billion movie.
Just a Scorsese ripoff.
But regardless of Hogan lies a lot, misremembers a lot of stuff he says, because of that, you have to take with a grain of salt.
Oh, dude, yeah. Look,
like, man, basically everything he says. You can't take at face value.
For legal reasons, I don't want to call anybody a liar. But because it indicates intent. But this guy, you can't believe a fucking word that comes out of his mouth, man. This dude said so many things that just were not true.
Yeah.
So many falsehoods, brother.
Like his son Nick wrestling Shane McMahon at WrestleMania.
Bro, that was never going to happen, man.
No, that was never going to happen. Fightful said as much.
That was never going to happen.
After he said it.
But I don't know. I don't know who he's talking to. I don't know what's on his text messages. He says a lot of things are kind of crazy sometimes.
Yeah, he does. Says a lot of things that are really crazy sometimes.
So yeah, brother. This is a bummer though, because Chris Hemsworth as Hogan could have been amazing.
It could have been a lot of fun.
I'm really looking forward to that Von Erich movie though.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a trailer dropping for that soon.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
That's going to be
yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's cool that the world of professional wrestling is getting embraced by filmmakers
Oh, absolutely.
because
yeah.
there's a lot of interesting stories, and it's a fascinating world.
Oh, it's a bizarre, it's one of those worlds that I wonder if they stayed away from it because sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. And it's like, there's no way. Like, nobody'd believe this stuff. You know what I mean? But, so, yeah.
You know, it'd be fascinating about this Hogan movie if it's ever to be made. Is you take what's in the movie, which I'm sure is obviously his vantage point, not his career, versus what actually happened, and see if there's any crossover in terms of factually what happened.
Yeah. There's something really interesting that could be had with a guy who misremembers everything. Like literally everything. Like this dude's talking about, yeah, brother, I was at WrestleMania 1 in 1992, and you know, it's
I know.
It's like, where do you like? It's just he's so off the charts with what he says.
Oh, he is.
But you know, look, man, this dude's head's been banged up a lot. Maybe he's just remembering it the way he's remembering it. We all have our own truths, Larson, and he's got his own truth. And it's like nowhere near the actual truth, but
nowhere
it's
near
his.
the actual
it's
truth.
his.
It's his
and
truth, I guess. He's
can't take that
he's
away
living
from
his own Hulkamaniac world.
It's Hulkamaniac reality, yeah.
All right. There's a Smackdown tonight.
Oh, man.
It's a go-home show to Fastlane.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We have a Smackdown preview.
We do, and I got good news for you. Guess who's back? Ed Manning. Oh, no, wait. This is the Ed Man. This is not Dick Slavitt. No, it's not. It's the Ed Man. Ed Manning here. For a Smackdown.
What is going on over there? I feel like we got a Rawgate mutant celebrity impersonator situation over there.
Oh, man. I'm so horny. Yeah. All right, Ed Manning here for a Smackdown preview. Is The Undertaker on this show?
No,
you're gonna go,
he might be on NXT, though, apparently.
You remember when Teddy Long used to be like, you're going to go one-on-one with The Undertaker? And he was like, every week
I recall.
He would do that. Everybody freak out because nobody wanted to fight The Undertaker.
Well, no.
It was then that a young Ed Manning decided he was going to make a career.
Gosh. Can we just get on with the SmackDown preview, please?
As a horny Undertaker impersonator. All right, let's see here. NXT's Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso to follow Damian Priest and Finn Balor to SmackDown ahead of Fastlane. So they're going to follow them to SmackDown. This is going to be like, it's going to show them in their cars. They're going to be like, hey, he's right there. Quick, follow him. Speed up.
I don't know.
He turned right.
They mean it literally. I don't think there'd be like a chase going down through the hallways leading to the arena. I don't think so.
Who gets there first? It's a mad dash to find out. It's a mad world in SmackDown. Next match, Asuka and Charlotte Flair to take on the Damage Control. Asuka and Charlotte Flair, they used to be a tag team champions together. So did Damage Control. So it's former tag team champions going at it. It is true. You check my facts. I did my research today.
All right, sure, fine. Yeah.
Dragon Lee in his very short shorts go head to head with Austin. You ever notice that about Dragon Lee? Sometimes you can see his deep V.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
He's going to go bell end to bell end with Austin Theory. Next. Who's going to win that match?
Dragon Lee will. Or at least
I suspect there's going to be a wonk finish. He'll have Austin Theory on the ropes, and Grayson Waller will wonk that finish. Next match. Rey Mysterio gears up for WWE Fastlane in a one-on-one match with the almighty Bobby Lashley. I wonder if Lashley's going to wear his Mr. Rogers sweater in this match.
That looked very comfortable.
Yes, it did. This is definitely going to be a wonk finish, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to super wonk this finish.
Yeah, it's going to end in a huge brawl.
The only question is, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, are they going to get on the same page?
Maybe.
That's a possibility. Maybe. All right. What are you doing over there? It seems like you're not even paying attention to me.
No, I'm
trying to pay attention to me.
I'm trying to not pay attention to you.
I've got my pants off. Do you want to see?
Not at all.
Can you check? Listen, friend to friend. Can you check my scrotum?
We're friends.
I have weird stuff going on down there.
Oh my God.
It's itchy. Sometimes it's a bit numb. There's like a discoloration too. Would you like to see?
That's going to be it for not at all. That's going to be it for the show.
On,
Steve, you need to come back, please.
Look at my balls, please.
No, that's it for the show. Goodbye, everybody. We'll hey, remember to We're trying to get
what's
100,
up?
and that was a nightmare situation. Not invited back.
Come on, what did he do that was so bad?
Talking
You're just-
about discoloration in his undercarriage.
Ew.
I know this is supposed to be a professional program here, and you got this. I don't want to get into it. It's off-putting.
Yeah,
For
neither
me
do I.
personally,
Don't
I'm sure
tell
it's
me
off-putting
about
to
it.
the viewers. It's probably we're trying to get. I was about to say, we're trying to get 198,891 subs, and we have this guy
Oh man,
talking
this
about
guy-
what's
this
going on
other guy.
underneath.
Yeah.
And it's probably like, why am I listening to this? I need to unsub from this channel and forget this channel ever existed.
Oh wow.
Pushing viewers
Yeah,
away
yeah. Oh man,
with this kind of talk.
discoloration on his balls.
Don't want to hear it.
It's disgusting.
So, no more.
No more.
I'm firm on this. Foot is down. No
I'll
more.
I'll find somebody new. That's gonna
Why
do
can't
it for
we
the
just
show.
do them?
Thanks
Why can't
everybody
we
for
just do
tuning
them?
in because I like to mix it up sometimes, man. Sometimes again, I got paperwork to do. We'll see you guys around. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That was my Punk Daily, but come on, Punk Daily.